Gen Z can't afford groceries anymore. Yahoo Finance reports that nearly 80% of Gen Z or millennials are using survival spending just to pay for basic needs. This means covering essentials like groceries or bills with debt or payment plans. 77% are using buy now programs like Affirm or Klarna to pay for basic expenses. 71% need a side hustle just to keep up. This isn't overspending. This is a systematic breakdown of the working class. Gen Z can't afford groceries anymore.
Who do they think they...
He says to be...
Hello, please pay me enough so that I can live. Why are you so needy? I'm literally asking for enough to live. Sounds like you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Alright, so you're a condescending piece of shit and you're really starting to piss me off, so that's your first warning. Oh, warning. You're not gonna get violent. If you're violent, then I can just be like, you're violent, you're bad. Yeah, but if I have a reason to be violent, then the other people who also want to be violent are gonna agree with me. But violence is bad. Yeah, when it's directed at you. Yes. Keep pushing us, man. See what happens. Hello, please.
If you're making $20 an hour to work at a fast food restaurant, all right? Is that six figures? Are you making...
No, Jesse, it's actually $40,000. And after taxes, they're taking home $33,135. So the take-home pay is $2,761. And the average one-bedroom apartment in this country is $1,713 plus $200 for utilities. The average American's spending about $100 a week on groceries, so another $400 just to eat. So someone making $20 an hour in 2024 in the United States of America is left with $448 that they have to stretch for health insurance, car payment, car insurance, car maintenance, gas, cell phone, personal care, maybe child care, 401k, savings, miscellaneous, the list goes on. But we're talking about $20 for a fast food worker. Well, as of May 1st, 2024, ZipRecruiter said the entry-level college grads in the United States are making $23 an hour. So let's run the numbers for them. Their take-home pay would be $31.35 minus $17.13 for rent, $200 for utilities, $400 for groceries. And because they went to college, the average loan payment for a bachelor's degree is about $512. So a college graduate making $23 an hour in 2024 in this country is left with $310 to do for health insurance, car, and everything else that I listed. So for people like Jesse, for the politicians, for the celebrities, for the elites, for the top 1% who are out of touch with everyday Americans, and especially our youth, $20 an hour is not $100,000. In fact, $20 an hour, people can barely survive in 2024.
If you're making...
I don't think y'all understand.
You want some fruit, honey?
Yeah. Let me go sell the car.
$40.60 for a fruit tray. Yeah, that's staying on the shelf.
If a doctor ever...
Economy's so bad, even my coworkers in like their 50s and beyond are like, you know what, I'm just gonna have an energy drink or something for lunch. Like, it's not worth spending $15 today. Economy's so bad, even my coworkers in like their 50s and beyond are like, you know what, I'm just gonna have an energy drink or something for lunch. Like, it's not worth spending $15 today. Economy's so bad, even my...
We can't find dishwasher. Bedroom, luxury apartment off a $50,000 a year salary. I was just having a conversation with someone that worked for me a couple years ago, and she's signing her first job offer, making $106,000 a year right out of college. She, I don't believe, has student loan debt. Obviously, inner city is going to be more expensive. My apartment was in the suburbs of Boston. However, she cannot find a place to rent within reason without having at least 2 roommates. $106,000 with very financially responsible person. And it's wild when I have conversations with those that are in their 60s and 70s and truly don't understand the cost of living and why the birth rate is declining. I don't know, Susie, because most people my age, and I'm a millennial, I'm 38, and most people my age and younger, they don't feel like they can responsibly take care of themselves. And so you want people to be responsible, because a lot of my friends with young kids, they have to have 2 salaries to afford life, but their childcare is the cost of their mortgage, if not more. And they bought homes at like a good time too. Like, they have a really good interest rate. Like, their mortgage isn't unaffordable as much as a lot of mortgages are now, but their childcare is their mortgage. So they're like owning 2 homes to have children, to be able to stay in the workforce so they can just afford life. That's why.
Thursday night, my wife went and got her hair done. I think it was like 110. My dog was groomed yesterday, and then me and 2 of my boys went and got haircuts. And it was, with $27 each with tip, it was about $100. And then our dog was $100 with tip was $120. So altogether, man, it's like $350 just for haircuts. So I don't know. You know, it's crazy. And you go to the store and everything is super expensive. Just curious, what are you guys doing to earn some additional money during these times?
Me and my wife were both talking about the economy a few minutes ago, and it's like I told her, I don't understand how people are making it today. I don't understand how people are living in this economy, because everything is so freaking expensive that if you're not making $100,000 a year, I don't know how you're doing it. You're a hell of a lot better at managing money than I am, I can tell you that. Because she goes to the grocery store 2 or 3 times a week, every week, and spends $100, $150 every time she goes. You cannot go to the grocery store now and get out for under $100. And you might have 10 items. Well, $100 ain't gonna buy you 10 items. But we never have anything in the house, and that's what got it started. I'm like, there's never anything to eat here. And she said, well, it's so freaking expensive. By the time you go buy for one meal, that's it. And she's right. That's true. And it just got me thinking, how are people doing it? How are people even feeding themselves, much less feeding a family? If you're making a job with, $15, $16, $18 an hour, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't. How are you keeping yourself alive and a roof over your head? I don't get it. I don't get it. You must be a hell of a lot better at managing money than I am.
We're talking about how...
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Makakadash. A double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawada from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, it can be edifying. And as you just saw, all right, you saw a plethora of different videos. I was just scrolling through my TikTok feed, and the algorithm, once you play a certain type of content, it'll feed that content. So, as I stayed a little too long on an economic rant, it fed me a bunch of them. But this was good to look at, because as you can see, a majority of the people I just showed you, all right, appeared to be so-called white people. Okay, now they could be Jake, we don't know, or they could be Edomites. But either way, all right, this isn't just a Jake problem anymore. This isn't just a so-called black problem or a so-called Latino or Native American issue anymore. Okay, this is a systematic breakdown of the American economy. All right, and they designed it this way. They're squeezing you people out, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we said for years on end that this was going to come. All right. While everything was still cheap, while you people were getting your stimulus checks and, still taking your vacations and everything, you weren't thinking about, a couple years down the road and how, the fabric of the American economy itself was going to falter. And now it's faltering. Okay. Inflation is at 4.2, 4.3%. And if they're saying that, it's way higher than what they're claiming. They're saying that your same $100 now gets you 23% less of what it got you in 2020, back in 2020, 6 years ago. Which is probably way less than what you could have got 20 years ago. So the price of your dollar, your buying power of your dollar has greatly been deflated. On top of that, everybody's debt, student loan debt, mortgage debt, auto loan debt, credit card debt, all this different debt, man. All right, on top of the taxes that you're paying, the taxes that you pay that goes toward war, that goes toward lining the pockets of the elite. And now y'all are starting to wake up. Now y'all are starting to say, damn, something's not right. But now it's too late. They've already placed Palantir within the damn government. They've already, gone forward with this AI revolution. They're tracking who's saying what, about what, and when, and why. They're monitoring who's criticizing their government. you know? But this systematic breakdown was fully by design, where people can, you're having to choose between putting gas in your car and eating. And the old tactics of, they tell you to, all right, get a second job or do this or do that, or, not eat out so much. Those things don't necessarily work, because people are realizing now that once you get down to your basic necessities, you still can't afford anything. Why? Because the jobs that you're working, because they tell you to get a job, and yes, a job, is necessary for this society right now, but back in the 50s and 60s, a job you could sustain your life with a job. Now you got to have a job, you got to DoorDash, you got to have a damn stock portfolio just to cover your basic needs, not to take vacations, not to invest, just to cover enough for you to be able to eat and live. All right, that's a very big issue. Meanwhile, you have those that are at the top that are continuing to get richer and richer due to compound interest, or compound, their money being able to compound on itself. They've bought assets that compound, but they sold you a fucking dream, man. They sold you the dream that if you could work, if you go to college, you get you a good job, and you get you a family, you'll be able to make it. And now you Americans are starting to see that was not the case, man. All right, and it's only going to get worse. You see these people complaining now, already on, having to make these tough financial decisions. It's only going to get worse, man. And that's thus said the Lord. Let's go ahead and get that. This is 2 Esdras chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. All right, you people have been walking in this great pride for all these many years, decades. All that pull yourself up by your own bootstrap shit ain't working no more, huh? And these Edomites, these low-level Edomites, they really pissed, because this was your kingdom. You're getting priced out of your own kingdom. And you can't blame this on Jake. They gave you a leg up, and the system still crushed you, man. Jake learned how to survive, man, but you Edomites, you're not built for that same oppression. Sustained oppression. And now y'all are starting to see it. But now the Lord's about to allow Esau to squeeze you damn people out. Let's get this in Isaiah 24. Because we're seeing the city of confusion utterly being broken down. You had Trump, have the UFC 250 on the White House lawn yesterday, man. All the bread and circus. You got the World Cup here. You had the NBA finals, and they keeping you people distracted. And yeah, people are still spending money, but a lot of that is credit cards. Most of it, I'd say, is credit cards. People aren't just spending their cash on deck, man. Not unless something else in their life is suffering. This is Isaiah chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. This is what happens when the wicked beareth rule. The people mourn. This is how we know this can't be the people of the Lord. The scriptures say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. People aren't rejoicing. People are mourning more than ever. While Trump is falling asleep in his own, front backyard, hosting a damn UFC event, man. And they had all this to say about Sleepy Joe. He called him Sleepy Joe. Trump can't even goddamn stay awake. How about that, man? The Lord got a sense of humor. Verse 6, it says, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Verse 7, it says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth. All the merry-hearted do sigh. And I'm going to probably end up titling my video that all the merry-hearted do sigh. Because you people, hey, you were celebrating, turning up. You had your time. Because that's what they don't show you in these little videos and shit, man. The reason why they're so upset now is because there was a time where, hell, life was pretty good for them. It could have been 10 years, 15 years ago. It doesn't matter. But somewhere, while they were distracted, they were getting squeezed out. And now that squeeze is here. It's not coming, it's here. Right? All the merry-hearted do sigh. The music don't hit the same anymore. The movies don't hit the same anymore. The video games don't hit the same anymore. Hell, I'd argue they probably think the drugs don't hit the same anymore. The drugs ain't coping the pain like they used to. Why? Because it's the spirit of the Lord that's making you people deal with reality. This is the end of the American empire. This is the end of the heathen rulership. And we have to go through this painful time. But the Lord is equipping our minds to get through it. Now, you people, you don't have a land to fucking stand on. This was the land of opportunity for you. As long as Jake was on the bottom and you had you had what you had, you was cool. You didn't care about the oppression of Jake. You didn't care about, us not having enough. You didn't give a fuck, man. But now you starting to feel it. Now y'all are sighing and crying. Verse 8, the mirth of the tabret ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the heart ceaseth, man. Verse 9, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. All right, those that drink wine, drink alcohol, drink beer, it ain't hitting the same, man. You still waking up to them bills. And that's if you can afford alcohol. Verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. That's Babylon the Great. Because Babel means confusion. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. The mirth of the land is gone, man. The Knicks won the damn chip. And okay. That shit was rigged. I saw them motherfuckers come down from 29 points, man. Hell no. And a finals? Yeah, okay, whatever. What the fuck ever. Damn, I damn near forgot who won the Super Bowl. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. The Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes just won. The NHL Stanley Cup. Who cares? Elder Altazawam was actually doing a video on, this whole fanatic being all into sport, being a sports fan. Now, if you got you a team you like, there's nothing wrong with that, whatever. But you do have people, you see how New York was tearing up them fucking streets over whether or not the Knicks won or lost. That's some idol worship shit, and that's not what we're here for. Again, it's nothing but entertainment. And hell, the sports betting industry has taken that over. Everything is for profit with this devil, man. He's ruined everything. This is what happens when a child is given rulership. A fucking child, man. Esau's a child. He's ruined everything. He's destroyed the earth. And still somehow is trying to blame Jake on it. Blame it on Jake. Verse 11 again, there's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left desolation. And the gate is smitten with destruction. And we approaching that 250 mark, man. Iran held out and beat America. Call that what it is, man. America did not succeed in regime change and the destruction of the nuclear program of Iran. They did not succeed. Yes, they off the Ayatollah, but the sun got up in there, and guess what? They're still as strong. They made America take this damn peace deal, man. America and its allies have to give over $300 billion for the rebuilding of the infrastructure that they destroyed. That is an L to the Americans. And they still trying to play it like, oh boy, if they comply. And hell, Israel could still come in and blow up that shit, because they're already saying that they're not going to listen to the part where they they have to stay out of Lebanon. Showing you who's in power, man. America is getting exposed as the frauds that they are. They were nothing but bloodthirsty, barbarians, man, that went across the world. Same thing like their forefathers before them, you know, that were coming from Europe and going out throughout the whole world and killing and pillaging, man, and trying to be the police of the world. Well, Iran just gave you a taste of your own medicine to an extent, man. You know? And yeah, the fight might be over for now, but what the scriptures say, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, man. So on every front you slice it, financially, morally, spiritually, you know, the household is fucked up. The job market is fucked up. The sports ain't hitting the same anymore. The music isn't hitting the same anymore. America's just done. Everybody's over it. There will be no another heathen rulership after America falls. China will not rule. Russia will not rule. Iran will not rule. The state of Israel will not rule. The earth will be ruled by the Israelites, the true Hebrew Israelites, under Yahushua, King David, the 144,000 in the house of Israel. And it will be on the earth. This is where we are right now. But America still has to continue to fall. You know, and those TikToks I showed you, you know, that's evidence of that America is showing big cracks in its armor. It's teetering. That motherfucker's teetering right now, man. And all it takes is for a nice old Black Swan event to just straight up topple this shit, man. And these people are going to take each other out when food instability really hits. Because right now you're getting priced out, but the food is still available. What happens when there's no food at all? People are about to go ape shit, man. So this is great news for us, man. We're going to continue to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, because, yeah, we're feeling it too. You know, yeah, our jobs don't pay all the bills and shit either, man. All right, but the Lord sees that. Right now, we just worried about our daily bread. The Lord still has us here. He allows us to eat. It might not be what you always, you know, want, but he's sustaining us, man. And we got to be thankful for that, you know. Like Elder Hawad did a video, man. You got to be content with what you have. See, America's always been in this more, me, covetous-ass spirit. And that's going to eat at them as well. You know, it's a perfect cocktail of destruction upon you Americans, man. So we're going to continue to watch it play out. And we're going to laugh at your calamity. We're going to mock when your fear cometh. So I just want to bring that out through the spirit. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Makakudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.